One of the great things about air-cooled Volkswagens is how easily they can be maintained with a pretty basic set of tools. Today I want to go into 10 of the tools that aren't found in your everyday toolkit but are still going to be critical for the proper maintenance of your air-cooled Volkswagen. So without further ado, let's get into tool number 1. So first up, we've got the hubcap removal tool. This is going to be an important little guy to keep in your car or in your toolbox or both, just to pop off your hubcap instead of using a screwdriver against your wheel, which could risk damaging your wheel. So if you're still rocking the OG hubcaps on your car, you're going to want to grab one of these. They run about $3 to $10. Tool number 2's got a couple different options. All it is a way to get your axle nut off your car. So in my case, I've got a 36mm socket attached to a 40-inch breaker bar. And this combination is probably going to run you about $100, but they have those little torque multiplier things that go on a 1/2-inch drive breaker bar. I've never used one of those, but I'm sure people have had great success with those as well. But all you really need, like I said, is a way to get the axle nut off your car. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the triple square socket. If you have an IRS car, you're going to need this for your CV axles. It's the little bolts that hold it in against the transaxle as well as the stub axles. So just the socket alone is probably going to run you about $8, or you can just buy it in a kit like I did. So next up, we've got the 17mm Allen wrench. This is one that you're not going to find in just your ordinary tool set. This is just a Craftsman 17mm Allen wrench, but that's, like I said, that's all I use it for, is just draining and filling the transaxle. They run from $20 to $25 online, but again, if you're just keeping up with routine maintenance, transaxle fluid is part of that, and to do that, you're going to need one of these wrenches. Number 5 is going to be the flywheel lock. For any kind of maintenance that requires removing your flywheel, it can be kind of difficult to get that gland nut off without the engine turning over, and one of these just makes it super simple to stop the engine from turning while you're getting the gland nut off. So again, super cheap online. Grab one, throw it in your box just to have handy whenever that time comes. Number 6 is just going to be an oil seal press. Again, you're not going to need these that often, but whenever you do change that rear main seal, or technically forward main seal, on a bug engine, one of these oil seal presses is just a good way to ensure that the seal is going to go in evenly and get even pressure all the way around. If that oil seal doesn't get pressed in all the way, the flywheel can rub onto it and catch it and rip it open and cause a massive oil leak, and you'll have to pull your engine back out, which you don't want. They run about $40 online. You can probably get these at your local VW supplier as well. But it's another one that I just highly recommend keeping in your box. Another important tool to keep in your box is a clutch alignment tool. Pulling your pressure plate and clutch off, you're not going to get it lined back up again without one of these. So if you're putting a new clutch in it, your kit should come with one of these. That's not always the case. I know that a lot of the new clutches will come with one of these in the box, but if not, you can get them online for about $10. They're not that expensive. So pick one up and toss it in your box as well. Number 8 is a stud puller. This is another tool that's not particular to the Volkswagen, but if you break off an exhaust stud or something along those lines, one of those bolts that can get brittle over time or rusty, this is going to save you some time. It's just a nice tool to keep in your back pocket for those events when something snaps off and you don't have a way to get it out, and it's a lot easier to use one of these stud pullers than it is to drill a stud out and have to pull it out with an easy out or something like that. These are going to run you about $20. Again, it's not a necessity. This is more of a nice to have tool, but it's another one that I highly recommend just grabbing and holding on to. So number 9 is going to be the oil filler removal tool. You have a couple different options here. First option is this little 1/2-inch drive screwdriver type fitting that'll go in and grab onto those little receivers in there, and you can use that to back it out. So you've got this other option as well, which is just kind of like I wasn't asking type of tool. Either one of these will work. The little one, the first one here, is going to cost you about $25 online, while the internal grabbing type is going to run about $45. And finally, number 10, we've just got your basic set of feeler gauges. This is one that's not really considered a specialty tool, but it's going to be a requirement if you have a bug and you're maintaining it yourself. You may not need to change your transaxle fluid every 3,000 miles, but you definitely need to adjust your valves every 3,000 miles. Harbor Freight, Walmart, you name it, they've probably got a good set of feeler gauges for you. So grab one of those and just throw it in your box. So that wraps up my list. If you like the video, hit the like button below. That helps my channel grow, and I sure appreciate that. If you thought of anything that I left out on this list, let me know in the comments as well. Or if you just have a cool story about Volkswagens you want to share, those are some of my favorites to read. So I appreciate you sticking around this long if you made it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.